What's up, guys? This is Trex, and you're listening to Epical Glory, fam.
Then I got a dessert.
That's sounds like a milkshake.
You guys got smoothies?
I got a
You got
smoothie.
smoothies.
What did you get again?
Blueberry something, water, melon lychee something. Last night, our hangout, right, that ended at like 6 a.m. I really messed with my body clock. So I need sugar to crash me so I can fall asleep.
Sugar to crash you.
I get it. That makes sense.
Ben?
Does it?
Yeah.
I was just looking for a excuse.
I'm doing the same thing with this coffee right here. It's gonna crash me later.
All right, welcome y'all. This is Epical Glory episode 3. Now, this time we are in my room. I'm Renmar. The hosts haven't changed, but this time, yeah, as you heard, we're with Trex. And we're still here with Leo. So, we're just going to talk about Swiss Stage, pretty much. And all the crazy shit that happened.
I think I'm over it, but I'm not. But from a good from a good perspective, from a good way. I'm over being sad. I'm done with Aurora. You know, I'm over it.
I'm feeling.
Yeah. To be fair, I wasn't too sad about it. I wasn't as devastated as the fan base, because I knew something was gonna happen.
I think they should be happy with how far Aurora got in general. I think, it's crazy that there's no Filipino team in knockouts, but I think a lot of people didn't expect Aurora to even make it to M Series. Like, people thought it'd be F Cap again, or something like that.
I thought that.
Yeah.
That's what I predicted.
To be fair, yeah. And, hey, FNOP's there. What do you mean, no Filipino team? No other Filipino. Yeah, no other Filipino team. For a second, I thought you were just gaslighting us. FNOP didn't make it to knockouts.
That's crazy. Because it's like full circle, right? In Axiata, there was only one Filipino team in playoffs. Yeah, and now that we're going back.
So is Axiata cursed?
I don't know. I don't want to say.
Is the Malaysia curse for Filipino team?
No, we did good in MSC.
Fair.
Yeah.
Was that in Axiata?
No, that was in.
There's only one team's allowed on Axiata Holy Ground.
Oh, I forgot.
No, but it's Malaysia.
Yeah. We did well at. We did well at Quill City, Snapdragon.
Oh yeah.
What was Philippines' final placing in M1? Because it was Indo versus Indo Grand Finals M1,
It
right?
was 7, 8, somewhere around that. Because I just know that Sunsparks roster was messed up by the Japanese team, Tennis, because they brought out Baksha to counter the Estes.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Renmar's bringing it up. And we finished at playoffs there. Sunsparks.
Lower bracket quarterfinal.
So what is that? 1, 2,
Four
3,
bracket
4,
quarterfinals.
5,
So
6.
6,
5 and 6. 5 and 6.
All right, yeah.
That's what NA finished in.
Yeah,
in
5 and 6. Onyx didn't make it through the playoffs. And that's crazy because a lot of people would have died on that hill saying Onyx was the better team. Yeah.
As fans do.
Yeah.
Well, it was only 3 bands aside that time.
So we got dropped by Burmese Ghouls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've just been stuffing down Swiss Stage. Every once in a while I jump onto my Discord and I just type all. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
You are.
I just type all caps, fuck! And then I don't say anything to anybody. So that's how I've been letting out my feelings recently.
Okay.
I've been getting tons of DMs
All right.
bro, it's so sad. And I'm just fuck.
All right.
And then I don't say anything else.
In a lot of the avenues, you guys are going to hear our thoughts. They're in very organized or very professional setups. But in Epical Glory, we really get to, dig deep into feelings. Let's do that now. Happen to BTK Dog.
And he sucks, bro. Dude, do you guys remember MSC? Did either of you guys see that clip where I'm like, NA's trash, bro?
Which MSC we're talking about?
Last MSC, WC.
Sure.
Yeah.
The first mid-season cup.
First mid-season cup. We'll take it back to there. And at that point, I remember just saying NA feels like it's been feeling like we've been plateauing for a while. It's been feeling like we're just peaking right now and we can't get past this wall. And I came into this M series with zero hopes. Once we won that for game 1 and 2, my hopes got a little up because we're 2-0. How could we whiff this?
The team looked good.
We look good. How could they mess us up? And cheers.
Yeah, you guys were up 2-0 after The best thing, the one thing that you guys can proudly say is that even though it wasn't directly BTK eliminating the Turkish teams, it was really NA whoop Turkey in this.
Yeah, at least we can say we're better than Turkey this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good, because there were a lot of eyes on Turkey. There was a lot of eyes on Ulfenor to like really go far, but then it must really suck to be an NA BTK fan, especially since one game away against FNOP, one game away against Falcon. That's what hurts.
Yeah.
It's always just one game away.
It's always just something. It's been something for a year now. It's crazy.
What is that something?
I don't know. I'm sorry, you know, there's some questions in my mind, you know, something like I'm almost wondering, do we think C9 would have done better? You know? Like, I'm at a point where it's like I really want to see some fresh faces step up in NA.
Yeah.
But it's just so tough. Like, if I had the money, I would just, if I could find 5 players that played in my town that were like willing to commit, I'd buckle down and be like, let's do this. Because I just feel like we just need like 5 people who are actually, I don't know, something fresh, something new. It feels like.
I think we're in a better spot now compared to like when we first met, like, you know, 2-3 years ago, when there was 7-8 good players in NA.
Yeah.
And then your international team would come from that. Now, safe to say, what, there's like a dozen. So I guess in that sense, NA is growing. It's just the combination.
Somehow Zane always beats him now.
He's part of that. He's part of that 12 to 15, you know, number of players. And I think it's the mix, bro. I don't think it's the ingredients that's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's the mix and like the container you put it in to ship off to the international stage that, you know, makes it tough.
It's definitely tough, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened this time. It's crazy. I thought for sure we'd at least make it to top 8. I thought they would at least do that.
If I'm wrong, they didn't have a coach for Valley, right? That was Balut.
Yeah, Valley, no coach.
He was more like Pika, yeah.
Yeah, he was just like Pika.
So they did well there. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, well, I said it after M4. I remember talking to you about it today. That the MSC after M4, when Mobazane couldn't go because all that stuff happened, like BTK was supposed to go, Outplay went instead.
Yeah, that was
a miss. And then M5, and like even from like M5, it just felt like a lot of other regions were getting stronger, and we were not. Like it really just felt like a lot of other, like we're seeing regions like Turkey, we're seeing regions like, you know, just so many regions started stepping up. ECA, like a lot of regions are taking it to the next level, and it just felt like we were still sitting there. Like to whereas before M4, M3, we were at least like top of the outer food chain, you know, like not see out of you were the big dog out of the junkyard, you know, like outside of like Philippines, Indo, like we could beat Singapore teams, we could beat Cambodia teams, we could beat Latam and stuff like that, you know, but
now Latam even beat Latam.
Yeah, now Latam, yeah, we don't even talk about.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about that later, because holy shit. I'm glad at least I'm not Latam, I'll say that. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Melita Gaming. She's one of the casters over there, super nice. Yeah, she always like comments on our stuff, and I'm like so sorry.
Yeah, she is a great personality, and if she ever hears this, I just imagine, you know that scene from Simpsons where Ralph Wiggum's heart broke, and you zoom in at the exact moment, you can see where it breaks. I think if there was a camera on her at that time, that's what would happen. But
all right. The personalities, the individual teams and players, even specifically, has nothing to do with these who are not Latam. It's just
business.
It's not the way they perform now in the state of their meta. But wait, are we leaving BT? Are we done with NA? Have you said everything?
I mean, I don't know.
Have you made peace with this?
I've made peace a while ago. Really, I'm good. I mean, I think. Yeah, we'll see what happens next year. You guys see the clip about best player? You guys see this thing?
Hey, quick, dog.
It's like, bro, I would not let them do that. Honestly, I really hope I really want to see best player step his game up. And I think for him, it might purely be a mental thing. I don't know what the block is for him because I do. One of the things that he does have over Mobazane is hero pool, right?
Yeah.
Like he's willing to play other things, and that's the big downside of Mobazane. Like I don't get it. It's been 3 years. Why aren't what's going on with Zane right now? But I think best player, I would love to see him step up. We got players like Tarzan. We got a couple junglers over there that I think need to fully commit like Zane does.
I got a couple of questions for BP1 because that's one of the main headlines or breakout stories from the aftermath of what happened between Vamos BTK, right? There's a theory in fighting game in the fighting game space wherein a player could be one of three things. I can't specifically state the author, but there's like three types of athletes or three types of players: heart, mind, and body. So if you're a heart player, you have good intuition, your natural game sense is just way through the roof. If you're a mind player, you're technical, you know the game in and out, you know the limits. If you're a body player, it's mechanics, like you just press buttons so much better. What kind of, because I know for sure, I don't know if you agree, Zane is a heart player.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe a little bit of body, but like if it was like a IMBD, like if there's a graph, I think a little bit of body. What did you say body was? Like mechanics,
yes. Like he knows how to press buttons.
Heart, a little bit of body, but mainly game sense. Because I think even when it comes down to like playing Fredrin and stuff, like his Lord Pit control, like game sense, it's something, he's gone toe to toe with the best.
So where's BP? What kind of is he? So you the way I think it is, he's more mind. Like he knows more heroes, can do more with them. And if I take the past couple of years history of NA into consideration, was he lacking heart because he don't got that dog in him, right?
I think definitely mind play. Like he's definitely the mechanical guy. I think there's just there's that piece missing for him right now. There's something, whether it's that dog, whatever it is, there's something.
Is this not a dog?
Yeah. So
and that's what I'm hoping. When I read that, I was like, okay, BP1. Dude, read the quote.
I never thought Carlos would say that shit.
Me neither. But when you hear him say it, it's so mellow. And like Carl, like he's Hispanic. He's from like I'm sure. I don't think he comes from the better side of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure he has that.
He knows what it's like.
He knows what it's like. He has that somewhere deep in him, and you can almost if you listen to that clip, you can almost hear it starting to come out, like maybe the little gangster, the little like he's like, nah, fam. He's like, nah, fam. I wouldn't let nobody do me like that. Like he almost sounds like he's not talking about a game. He's like, I'll pop off on stage.
You want to see? All right, so we can contextualize it for the people who don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Sorry.
So no, it's all good. Best Player won during one of his streams watching the Vamos versus BTK series. This is what he said at the end. Who is that guy Nets? All right, I'm just quoting Best Player 1. I'm gonna say some shit that Best Player 1 said. Renmar Santa Cruz did not say that. Who is that guy Nets? What is he yelling to them? No way, I would never let that slide. No fucking way. All right, now it's personal. I will do everything I can to make it to the next international. I will never in my life let that slide. And here's the kicker. I will fuck Malaysia for NA, says Best Player 1. That's a fucking promise, says Best Player 1. I'm in absolute disbelief. I might not have went to M6, but I'll do my best to go to the next international. I promise.
Quote unquote.
Triggered by a Filipino. It's always a. It's not even a Malaysian that triggered man. It was a Filipino imported Malaysian.
Starting wars in between countries. The double agent Nets.
Yeah, so that's my first question is like, so we agree that Zayn is a body heart, Carlos is a body mind.
Yeah, maybe a body mind.
He needs to unlock that heart, right? So what if he does? Let's say the next 6 months between now and the next mid-season cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that happening? Like, where's he currently signed? He was last with C9, yeah?
Yeah, he was last with C9. It was him, all the boys,
Mm-hmm.
basic.
What if he does? You know, what if this does awaken him? That dog in him that a lot of people were looking for, and he suddenly becomes, you know, El Gringo or something. You know, it's just
Yeah, El Gringo guy.
Gringo isn't good.
No, Gringo's white.
all right. I just went to the first.
El Guapo, El Chapo.
El Chapo.
Chapo, best player. Best player, uno.
It's so
Name. Carlos Uno. Dude, you know what? I'm excited now.
Yeah, his arch enemy, his arch nemesis, El Gringo Zane.
El Gringo versus El Chapo. Dude, that's it. That's the next arc for NA. Man, I'm gonna watch out for that.
I hope that this is the prelude to the next chapter in NA.
We'll see.
Have you spoken to any of the BTK dudes?
I knew it a couple words, you know. I didn't want to like. I said bye to them. I talked to Peak a little bit earlier. I know they're probably all
Shook.
yeah, shook. Exactly. Who might lay up his hat, man?
Really?
Yeah, he was talking about it before NACT. Like there was some talks of him saying, "This might be my last one, guys. Might just go more heavy into content creating and things like that."
But he is a very popular figure, so
Yeah, and he was probably like after the Gosu stuff. Remember, he was like doing a lot of vlog stuff.
Right.
He was like with some big streamers and doing stuff, and like that's probably more profitable for him and easier, less stressful, easier. You know, it's just we'll see.
I mean, it's all good. You know, one thing that surprised me about BTK and like myself, I didn't expect that after the run and in this M6, I would end up becoming a huge fan of Shark and Chicken.
Yeah,
They were so consistent all throughout the tournament. Those two, when they link up and you see them layering crowd control all together, and funnily enough, maybe it's not because like they're the two most quiet dudes, but it's just damn, it's so nice to see them play. You know, when you watch Mobile Legends and you just go, this is good to watch. It just feels good to watch. That's what it felt like seeing Shark and Chicken together, man.
Chicken played a great game. Shark played a great game. Shark's always played a great game. There's like always the debate that we have when we talk about like who's the best player in NA. And if you go by numbers, technically it's Shark. He's got the most appearances on the world stage. He's came every single time. He's got the most international presence. I know Zane always gets the hype of as like the face, but if you really think about it, Shark has been part of every team. Zane has not.
Yeah, to me it's Shark or Chicken.
Yeah.
I think it's Shark or Chicken. And I wasn't surprised by that. I was surprised at how well in the first few rounds they made it look good. Because again, it's still like a throwback to M3, to M4. But I think that's where that fantasy ended.
You know what it lacked though to M3?
What?
And even M4, mainly M3, I would say. It feels like those guys, Zane especially, has gotten to a point where they are too scared to try something. Now, they're too scared to try something. And right now, the meta, it's favoring teams who are willing to bring out a cheese pick. And not a cheese pick, like, because, you know, we've been talking about, like, the Layla, we saw the Zask and Vale, like, the meta just works right now to where so many heroes can be thrown in for one game. Because of these box strategies, because of these fighter junglers and things like that, you can put just about anybody in that mid lane, you can put just about anybody in that gold lane and make something shake. And compared it to like M3, like the Saber pick, you know, the Ballman, like the Lolita, like they were sitting there like, what about this, guys? Let's do that. And now it just feels like there's either fear, something off, where it's like, no, that won't work. No. Like
Fear man
like
is
something,
back.
like, you know, something's going on to where they won't test the boundaries.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did test the boundary somewhat. Them single-handedly bringing back Frederick, even though
Yeah, but that was
Suzuki
working in
was doing
scrims.
it. Yeah.
That was working in scrims from what I know. Like it was working very well.
Yeah. And we know Fred has always just been bubbling again.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of it in the SPS. We saw a little bit of in the off season.
Would have been one thing if he just like picked Fred once, right? Like just throwing it in and then switch to something else. But it
Yeah.
felt like it was Fred or nothing at some point, you know.
Yeah, not sure. I get you. Feeling now that
Well, sucks.
yeah, let's talk about the teams that struggled, man. And honestly, these two kind of made me sad, mainly because I don't know, for some reason I was thinking that they'd bring some surprises, do some good stuff. Maycam and KBG. I think let's start with Maycam first.
I have lost hope in Latam since about before M5. So it
Like,
wasn't
start
very
popping off.
surprising to me. Like M4, they didn't make it to top 8. I think they were like 10 and 12 or something like that. And I remember like talking with Mirko. I think I've talked to Leo about it too, and like because Mirko would like hype, nah, RQ Brazil's really good, and it's like, bro, they've never broken into top 8 once. So in M5 for me, it was like this is make or break for them. If they do not get top 8 this time, at least top 8, then there's like I don't really put them up that much, and they didn't do it, and they've continued to kind of fall short. So, and it's not just like a 1 year thing. It's been all the way back to what, I don't know. Did they compete in M3?
They did. They were there at M2 even.
M2.
Yeah.
So have they ever broken top 8?
No.
They were
No.
Well, they were 7.
All right. So no, M4 they got to 8. Yeah.
Yeah,
M4 they got to 8.
Alongside
We knocked them
Incendio. Yeah, you guys knocked them out of the lower 3-1.
Yeah. That was Incendio's first big placing.
So you're right. And I think what's muddling this in my head is the fact that I've always just been optimistic about
Yeah.
Latam.
Gusta Lagusta.
Right.
We've got to know these players. That's the problem.
The individual pieces of RQ Akira, and by extension Latam, are so sensational that their performance is secondary. So that's why year after year it feels like maybe they can do it, maybe they can do it. But the painful truth is, since they lost and they're not the kings of Latam anymore, the actual champion exposed everything that we should have all been aware of anyways.
And to put on that, that happened this time, right when they finally conjoined, because it used to be MLSL and NPL Brazil.
Correct.
Now all of Latam is
just
together.
one big,
And Argentina, now that's happened, Argentina overthrows Brazil. So I'm like, to add light to it even more, is like maybe Brazil was never even the powerhouse in South America. Maybe it was some of the other MLSL regions.
Well, I mean, they did have their Liga Latam, so it's just like their Latam MSC in between. It was always Akira. I think, for me, maybe I'm just a bit too nice, but Maycam Evolve and Latam seems like they're just going through a tough transition period, wherein finally, after so long, someone solved the Akira, I wouldn't call it a problem, but the Akira puzzle, there we go. And then now, you have this new team who did that, but the Akira puzzle never truly really solved the international puzzle. So now it's suddenly like, here comes the Argentinian squad, here comes Maycam with the young roster, like, here we are! Whoa, what the fuck is going on? What is all this MLBB I've never experienced in my life going up against?
And that's not an excuse. No matter how true that is,
Yeah.
that's not an excuse. So I go back to my opener here. The RQ boys are good individually, like they're all characters. So I would watch for that. I would spectate that. Argentina on the other hand, Maycam Evolve on the other hand, like what do they bring?
Yeah.
So that's why to me it's extra like it's like I don't, it was bad. Like we just say it was bad.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
What makes it worse is what do we have to take from this? It's not even like campy movies. Like it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Some
At least
games.
you can be a cult following.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. A cult following. I guess like the 12 YSS mains are like, and the
Just hype for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here comes the YS. Oh, shit.
The why no.
The why no. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I really hope the Latam region can be way more competitive internationally because in other esports they fucking are.
Especially in the mobile space, they're a solid contender to the PUBG India,
yeah.
to the
Crossfire.
to the mobile MOBAs in China, to
Mm-hmm.
the you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's like I'm at this point.
They even the fact that like RQ even has like backing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They have coach staff, they have everything they could want, and so what's going on?
Yeah, it's like I feel like someone in Latin America. I'm not just gonna say Brazil. If you could get like 8 of the top teams all together in one room, literally to just sit down and fucking talk about like, guys, what the fuck's our problem internationally? What's going on? I feel like that's the one thing that they can do to like rise as a region for international tournaments. Just all get together, share that knowledge, but that's impossible. So
So do you think so? Just to like build up to what I'm about to say. So like back in the day, like chess, Russian players, they all play together and they all share information and they talk to each other about stuff, right? So like in the Philippines and I think in big regions like Indonesia, like when season's over, coaches, would you say a lot of the coaches are like friendly at least and probably talk to each other, players scrim each other. And,
even during season,
yeah.
I think the line between friend, colleague, and competitor is very thin. That, yeah, when it comes down to the international stage, I think
Like everyone's supporting, like for all you know, this coach is like, hey man, maybe you should try this. Like, hey, like sending ideas. Like the Filipinos are very supporting of whatever team reps go. All the season's forgotten about. Let's support these two teams.
yeah,
And I think a lot of regions don't have that, right? Like NA, for example, like I wonder if, best player one's ever shooting Zane a message like, hey, why don't you try this? Like, hey guys, like is there a hive mind of information aplenty in some of these? I mean, we can't call them new regions anymore, right? Is there a hive mind of development? Struggling at this point, yeah, struggling
I think
regions.
Latam is a struggling region. ECA, that's a developing region.
Yeah.
China, that's a developing region.
the road to developing. I feel like I
Been
mean,
1
forgetting
year.
imports like Sasa joining DFYG was so big, not just for DFYG, but for the entire esports competitive space there. To back up what you said, like, yeah, hopefully that's what they do because hell, one of the best players in the world, that's what he does as an individual. Kelra, they were public about that. Like, it was Marky who said in Wolf's one of Wolf's watch parties, the reason that Kelra stands out as a gold winner and why he's called the gold standard, he's like we call it the Super Skrull. You know, the Super Skrull in Marvel Comics, they can get the powers and abilities of other heroes. He's like that because he goes up to players like, yo, can I ask you this? Even like players that are seen as below him, even though he doesn't see them beneath him, but like as a fan viewer, you're thinking, why is Kelra asking this guy for advice? No, because for Kelra, he knows, fuck, there's something he can tell me.
Yeah, the way he did that in Gold Laner, how the fuck did he do this?
Yeah. And that's why and people are not gonna admit it, even during the time, and now all the more, Kelra Oheb was such a good rivalry. Because Kelra was always working hard to be in that rivalry, while Oheb just had all the achievements, which he worked hard for too.
Yeah.
It's just that people knew Oheb. Kelra was always questioned. Kelra was always, homie doesn't even have an MPL.
Doesn't have an M series, yeah,
Right?
no.
Doesn't yet.
Yeah. Well, now he's finally showed face, but even before that,
Yes.
I was one of those people that question. It's like people would be like, "Keller's the best," and it's like, well,
Yeah.
like I know he's the quote unquote gold standard, but he's not. Hasn't been there.
That's right. So even back in 2022 or 2023, I always believed that his work ethic was up there to make him worthy of that rivalry. Filipino Savage, Filipino Sniper, like that's two sides of the same coin. I can't believe we ended up with that. After where do we start? All right, Latam.
Well, just regions and hive minds, and having support behind the team. I think by other teams, because it's like I don't know how it is in Latam. I could be completely wrong. I don't know if those guys are, how many of those teams are actually fully sponsored. How tight they are, things like that. But
Yeah. Since we've talked about Latam and have potentially given a possible remedy to their struggles, let's talk about the now developing region in our eyes by asking a question to Trex. Trex, do you believe that a team from China will be able to have a deep run in the upcoming MSC?
upcoming M series, like
MSC, yeah.
MSC.
Do you think that's when is that like the timer? Is that where we'll finally see it for a team from
Define
China?
good run.
Based on what you saw in the Swiss
Give me a top number.
and the wild card, can they break out into knockouts at MSC?
Knockouts, I think that's possible.
Mm.
I think knockouts is possible.
But knockouts and the one series win in knockouts.
All right, hold your breath, because
Can they break top 8? That's the question.
because if you break top 8, you're in top 4. That's how MSC has always worked.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, if we're gonna stick with that format, yeah.
I mean, unless you lose at top 8, then you're top 8.
yeah.
Unless you lose
So
the first match. If MSC is not double limb, then yeah, you're top 8, right?
So top 8 doable for you think?
Top 8 doable for I think it is. I think even for me, I hate to say it, but DFYG still felt like the better team in a sense, or at least they were, for some reason, maybe it's because they got here earlier, but they seem to have a better understanding of the meta the moment they landed, whereas KBG, like day 1 for KBG was weird, day 2 for KBG was weird.
Well, I have the possible explanation.
LJ?
The king, sure, but no. The meta really shifted come Swiss. I think watching the wild card and
Yeah.
being a fan and just spectating, it was a bubble. Like it felt like
it always
its own
is.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And teams weren't forced to adjust as much and nothing was too sudden because they were also the best of threes.
Yeah. Really felt like, especially after the very first day of Swiss, remembering the drafts from the wild card, it was like, whoa. The ordering of something.
Yeah,
the
no.
prioritization.
Wild card is always weird.
Yeah, no, but that's the opposite here. The Swiss was just too weird for you to be able to say, oh, KBG had time to look good.
Yeah.
So they were struggling off the gate. While DFYG, we were from, we haven't seen China in a while.
Oh, so we already had the
Yeah, so it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of
That's a fair way to put it.
the context. Not to take anything away from DFYG, because I'll tell you now, from what we saw last time, and in the lead up, watching their qualifiers, watching even KBG, now with the question at hand, after the Swiss, and knowing that they're going to get global server access soon,
Yeah.
and that should be the norm, I think they can break it top 8.
Yeah.
But breaking out from there, like beating, maybe 3-1. You're like, if top 8 is a best of 5 and it's single elims, maybe at best they can 3-1.
Do you think they'll have the capability to beat a PH or an Indo team?
Whoa.
Well, no, but because the thing is, you get a bad group, you might not make top 8. So like for me, like Team Spirit could do that. Back in the day, BTK could do it. Do you think China, like Turkey, beat Blacklist a few times? Like there are certain regions that you knew they were like, okay, this is a region to keep our eyes on because they could beat a PH or an Indo team. Do you think China could do it? Or MY? Yeah, now we're talking MY as well. Could they do that?
I think for them to make it out of groups and into knockouts, they should have the capability to.
Yeah.
Or else just rely on being lucky.
Yeah, which I feel like for our take here, it's not just a luck thing. We're thinking about it as like how skilled will they be like 6 months from now?
Consistency wise.
Yeah. So I think it's like yes, like they need to be able to beat the PH Indoor MY team so that they can make it past groups into the knockouts and have like a formidable run. You know how I see the teams from China potentially heading into MSC? I want to see what whoever the representatives will be, a sort of like, and the second coming of peak NIP Flash. They have their own unique takes of the meta, their own unique picks. I mean, the Freya's respect band already for them, but NFP Flash is also still grounded and rooted in very good fundamentals and principles. I feel like that's what China might, because I would not be surprised if the teams in China somehow crack a meta code that LATAM, EECA, Southeast Asia just could not see, and they come up with something, not entirely the brand new main meta, but an alternative approach that just really works.
Okay, you know what's weird?
What?
If I were to think of what China could do to break the game, it wouldn't be meta-wise. I think they would just be mechanically better.
Oh, just pure skill, yeah.
Yeah. Because the right now, if it's the Freya that we're looking at, oh, that's a Chinese flavor. Something tells me maybe down the line, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year, 2 years, what if they get so damn good at MLBB that they play the same fucking meta? The weird Freya here, the Jawhead jungle there, and they just play better. Like that to me, that's the possible reality.
Yeah, I think if they stay on their trajectory, the top eight's definitely doable. Like every
Minimum, right?
Yeah, every international, we've seen them get better and better. So, and I think we all said it whenever China first jumped in. Like, I don't think there was a single caster who was like, they're gonna come into M5 and just smash. Like, all of us were kind of like, give them a year, give them a year, give them a year and a half, and they've slowly gotten better and better and better.
Have you ever heard the contrary? I've had several conversations with people, and that's my favorite opener about China is give them 6 months, give them 9 months, global server, give them time. Have you ever heard of someone say, China's never going to be good, dude? They'll always be behind the big regions, these big C regions. Have you heard that sentiment?
I think only the hardcore toxic fans
Are gonna think
that are gonna be like, oh nah, they'll never beat us. They'll never beat Indo, or they'll never beat Philippines, or that's just. I think if you're like that strong behind your region,
I've heard this opinion from one or two in the know, like in our circle.
Yeah.
Who's that? No, that's why I'm asking you, because I can't remember.
I am not. I don't know.
But do you see some validity to it?
I mean,
I don't know, maybe, I don't know, my memory's telling me that was probably a turn on. I'm kidding.
I'm a strong believer that, with enough behind it, any region could be world champion, right? And if there's going to be a region that can have that type of backing, support, China would be the next. I feel like, in terms of ID, PH, MY, with very legitimate MPLs and everything, China has at least enough manpower, brain power, people that are willing to commit 8 hours a day to esport.
A legacy of commitment, excellence.
Exactly. So like, if there's a reason, exactly. And I think that's the difference between like Southeast Asia teams, I think in general, and a lot of non-Southeast Asia teams is these guys are waking up at 8 a.m. screaming for 4 hours, eating lunch, screaming for 4 hours, having their little dinner time with their friends, with the rest of the team, and then going to sleep and doing that 7 days a week,
What I said is a racist though, right? Like there's a heritage in China's excellence on the esports stage, because what was that? Is that I'm not a big fan, but I know in League, if it's not Korea, it's China, right?
Yeah.
See, so who's to say? Even in Dota, Chinese Dota is a thing.
Yeah.
That is like slowly dipping out already. The power has gotten back to Europe, but yeah, for the longest time, teams from China really stepped up on the world stage.
I do wonder this though, seeing as there's that other game that's very popular there, the other MOBA. Do we think, since there's already so much money that can be made in that for players, do we think the MLBB is just getting like the B tier player, the B tier mobile players? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you're S tier, you're gonna go where the money's at, where the millions are at.
Yeah.
So sometimes that was another thing by me. It's like, is the Chinese teams just getting like the guys who couldn't make the other games teams?
To be fair, the other game scene is so bloody competitive. Like, it's an insane level of competition that I would understand if an S tier player looked at that, has been there for a while. It's like, let me go and just go say, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go on over to this MLBB. It's new. I have a possibility to make a name for myself here. Internationally, I might struggle, but for this one, it's a another good foundation. An alternative, yeah.
There's only so many slots, right? I'm sure there's more than just 100 S tier players.
Yeah.
right? So-
The fact is, China. I don't have the stats or the numbers to back up my assumption, but I think this is closer to the reality of the matter. I think China's big enough for alternatives to be
Yeah.
solid outlets, anyways. So if we can be just a fraction of the the goal or the esports landscape there, then that's something, like as long as it's not zero.
Okay,
Before we go to the next topic,
go for it.
can I go grab my dinner? It's sushi and it's probably going bad.
Okay, let's go grab it.
All right, sure, grab it.
Do the watch.
Yeah, I'll all right, so there was a sudden cut because Trex had to get his food. He has some really bomb-looking sushi right now. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
kind of disagree. What's up with Malaysian sushi, guys?
Why? That looks good.
They put like cheese on it.
Wait, they put some cheese on some sushi and everywhere else.
I don't know. Well, I'm sure it'll be delicious.
There you go. Here we go.
You think it's picking up the cruncher?
I hope it's picking up like you chewing right now. Just go.
Swallow.
It'll probably get the solo.
I made sure I took a big swallow for you guys.
All right. So while you're eating right now, I think we can talk about the region that NA absolutely ate this M6.
Like the way you're eating now.
At least we ate somebody, bro.
Yeah, like the way you eat it now. The question is, do you think, especially up against NA, do you think Turkey was just the unfortunate victim of the Fredrin of BTK? And that can sum up the end of their M6. I mean, I know S2G and Ulfanar lost to other teams as well, not just BTK. But I felt like that did a number on them.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the opener. Like no one expected it. Maybe they didn't expect it. People that maybe scrimmed them expected it. But at the same time, as to pull back to what we talked about earlier, is if you want to make it a top 8, you have to be ready to beat a Filipino team. You have to be ready to beat an Indonesia team. You have to be ready to beat Falcon. You have to be ready to, those are all things that, just as we saw, even though BTK won day one, they still didn't make it out. Ulfanar didn't show up. I don't know what happened, man. And I've been on the Turkey train for a while, like that was a big hit for me seeing them get knocked out.
Okay. Weirdly enough, since we did talk about this earlier in Latam's case, what if Turkey got that thing going too? What if they're like, we solved our own little meta, but going into the world stage, we were ready for this. I'm seeing a little bit of that now. I'm seeing a little bit of it now, and it's worse. It's because it's NA who introduced them to the urgency of things, the reality of the situation in the Swiss.
Yeah, I think that,
And it sucks more because we expected so much.
Yeah, I think they kind of suffered also. The same thing that BTK did is because what are some of the things that made Turkey stand out in the past? The Liam Lord, the random pick, the fallback to comfort, even when nobody else played Lilia for like 3 days, Rosa would pick it up and destroy with it.
Farsaid.
Yep, he did Farza, yeah, but it felt, I don't know, it felt either there was, something happens because. Yeah, they got the bad draw. They got knocked out by Aurora, right? That was their final game, which was a really
A lot of people's predictions got ruined by that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think here's my theory. There may be something going on with the team. Because org changes, name changes, like these things aren't always as smooth. Very few, at least in the history of MLBB sports, very few teams like go through changes like that. And it's smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, what was up with the Ulfanar thing, right? Did we ever get a final, like a final public post on why it changed? Fireflux was a sponsor, right?
Fireflux is an org, yeah.
They're an org. And that org is still ongoing in other esports.
So is Ulfanar org?
That's what we don't know because I can't get much from their Twitter page. So I don't know much about them. I have a theory right now that's sort of backed up by players and some coaches I will not name here, that one of the holes in Ulfednar might actually be the EXP lane that's alien. Surprising to say. And okay, just to run it back. When they were up against BTK, Chicken was on the Arlot and Alien was on the Glue. That was a long game that eventually was just BTK popping off with their Fred Loyi combo. Ulfednar, when they went up against SRG, Cram was playing the Phoveus, and it was Fred Loyi again brought out by SRG. Then in their very last one against Rora, it was back-to-back games on the Phoveus, and yeah, no other cheeky strat there. Looking at the picks and remembering the games, I'm like, oh shit, that might actually be right. Because those are players and coaches who are going like Alien might actually be the kind of the hole there. Like there were some people who were very vocal about his performance as the Hilda against Aurora.
Did he played Edith against BTK, right?
Against BTK, no, he was a Glue.
Oh, he was Glue.
Yeah, that was Ulfednar against
Sunshine was underwhelming too.
Sunshine underwhelming. So maybe the side lanes struggled here. Well, I mean, that's a theory. I mean, just looking at the draft and remembering what the players is.
Fednar.
Yeah, that's just Ulfednar, not even S2G.
S2G is a whole other story. But yeah, do you subscribe to this? What's your thoughts on the side lanes?
I don't. I mean, for me, what they lost to BTK, it was what first. I can't remember if it was BTK or S2G that it was first Lord or second Lord that Mobazane was able to just kind of sidestep, get a good spot on it. Was that the Cho game with Shark against Ulfednar, or was it S2G? Shark had Cho against Ulfednar?
Neither.
He had against
Gwyn.
Midnar, it was Hylos,
And then Gwyn.
and then Gwynevere against
Guinevere against S2G, okay. I feel like, I don't know if I want to exactly be like, they didn't really perform. Because like in that game, I feel like Zane was in peak 50-50 Rectory performance. Like that was when, but then who did Ulfednar play second day?
SRG.
SRG and
Hello. And it was back-to-back loss. I agree, and no Yi.
Do you think they just got a horrible draw?
Honestly, it could be. I mean, to be shafted back-to-back by Fredrin just shows, again, it supports like our theory of like, they just didn't expect a sudden shift. Like, they solved their thing where Tianji's popping off with Assassins, Haya, Joy, but then was a Haya and Joy to the resurgence of a Fredrin. And of Fredrins that know how to play the map and the game so well.
Do we think the meta also just maybe like not fitting them right now? I mean, and again, that's a player problem. Like, you need to be able to adapt to whatever the meta is. But like, Rosa's an aggressive mid laner. Had to play things like Aurora. Had to play things like Roars, and which again, I think against the Fredrin they should have picked out. I think we were on the desk with that. I was like, this would be a good game for Lilia. Honestly, like you could have brought it out against the Hylos, Fredrin, all these things. Like, I don't know. I don't like to really ever like blame an exact player, because I mean, in the end, when you're here, you guys are a team. Like, and normally it's normally never exactly just like. I know the fans love to say, oh, it's all of this player's fault, but it's normally never, because the thing is for the EXP lane to prosper, the mid trio has to do well. For the turtle fight to do well, the EXP laner has to do well. It's like normally when the jungler's not recturing right, it might be because someone's not zoning right, you know? Or if they're not zoning right, it could be because the jungler's not getting kills or ganking. Like it's a whole spectrum of, you know, you need this to work to make this work, and it all circles around in the end. So,
Which is why, by being objective about it and, you know, looking at each element specifically, you make more sense of what happened to the team. It makes more sense why, you know, they performed the way they did or did not perform. Which now I want to look at S2G and say, you know what? Maybe just nerves. I think in general, just the whole team is new to being the team from Turkey, and you know, I wanted to hype up their gold laner, you know, Sigiboom. I wanted to hype up the Lunar even, you know, like there were elements of greatness there. It's just
No. I agree. Yeah, I'm eating the zip. I'm eating this really bomb chocolate layer cake now.
Sigaboom played great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we can still see some stuff from SOG. I think we can still see stuff from Turkey. I don't think we completely just like count them out just yet.
This is not bad for them as it is for Latam.
Yeah, it's definitely not. This is their first time not making top 8 since M4. I mean, and then if you even look at some more off on the side tournaments, you go to Games of the Future, Fireflux got top 3. They beat RQ. Like, they've been known to be able to take down big teams. These are players that, you know, it might have just been a tough year for them, just like it was for some other teams. You know, we've seen lots of good teams fall in the Swiss format. So
It felt like Turkey was just a victim of circumstance.
yeah,
Like, suddenly Fredrin coming out of nowhere. You had to go through a gauntlet of getting surprised by Fredrin twice, and then going up against Aurora, and then Edward absolutely went God mode with back-to-back Phobius games.
but you know, no excuses, man.
Yeah, no
Right.
excuses at all. Yeah.
Because I could say the same thing. Oh, BTK just a victim of circumstance. They messed up on one pick, or you know, the Carmilla. Like, what the hell is Carmilla? What the hell is a moonlit waltz? Yeah. You know, like, but the teams. Look what SRG did. They got caught off by his ass. They came back in game 2 with the Veil. They brought everything back to the basics in game 3.
Yeah.
Like, every team that made it, I think, rightfully made it out. And every team that didn't, rightfully folded.
There's a team that almost made it. Good thing you mentioned SRG. Let's talk about the Cambodians. Let's talk about CFU. They almost got there.
I know.
At the cost of SRG too. Who'd have thunk?
Oh my! Everyone thought CFU was going to be the easy pick out. Everyone was like, "Oh, just give us a CFU during the draws."
Nope.
They might have taken anyone else out in that group.
Yeah. Like, to go through CFU's history, they were the first team to give NIP Flash a loss. They were absolutely run over by FNOP. But then they got over Vamos. They took Spirit to the limit, the 1-2, except that game number 3 draft was kind of weird with the Angela mid. And then, yeah, the SRG game.
Claude Angela.
Yeah. Claude Angela. For CFU, I think that very final moment where Innocent got the play of the tournament so far, that was a perfect showcase of what distinguishes the best teams in the world and the upcoming contenders. Because that was literally a team forgetting and not respecting one ability. That they were brought low, forgetting their formation, and then getting SOD.
Well, I disagree.
I also disagree. I think that
It's not just the SOD. They made like 3 or 4 mistakes prior to that led to Innocent going clutch gene activated. It's go time. I'm going hero. There's just
I'm using that as like the crux point of the take.
But let's also. Do you think, your guys' opinions? Do you think the SOD? It was extremely fun to watch. It was insane play. It was one of those moments where it's down the line. That was a all or nothing play right there. It wasn't exactly like it wasn't exactly like super big brain. Like, it was like, I'm going for this. We're gonna end that whole game. It felt like both teams were just
coin flipping.
It was a coin flip.
Yeah.
That last play was a coin flip because they tried the same thing in the game before.
Lost.
And they lost.
Detective cleaned
Detective
house.
cleaned house because one little Zask Johnny boy sitting there.
Yeah.
Zask got a triple kill and was Zack.
Okay. All right, now that we're running back, let's focus on SRG. We're going to see more of them. Let's talk about that Johnny boy play. All right, a lot of y'all are hyping the fact that it's the Johnny boy. To me, it's the fucking Suyo that looked like a Martis, dude. Yeah. It was, I don't think we hyped it up enough on this, that it was actually Detective who was like, all right, target. The Johnny boy just happened to me now. Dude, Z did nothing. Z just died.
All right, good for full Carol. His stats will forever be on the positive because of that play.
But it was Detective, dude.
Yeah.
Detective lived.
Even jumping into the bush, he played the bush mechanic, went in the bush real quick.
In and out, yeah.
I gave him just the second for the Johnny boy to finish to get the final hit on him.
Yeah.
Because they were both down to a % of health.
Yeah.
He hit the bush real quick, so he couldn't target him. He couldn't target Detective, and boom. That call, that play right there, bro, I loved it. he's like walking towards the base with the Suyo arm. It needed a latag matatag or whatever. It needed that call behind it, bro.
He needed, dude. Oh my god, the genius behind it too. Like, all right, of these 5 dudes, right? OP, he's triple OG in his region, right? But Detective was the only one this whole series to have had his clutch gene activated. I think that's the main difference because SRG, every one of them was locked in regardless. That's what made that last moment, the innocent play, possible, is because the dudes who were dead for SRG, they've done their job. Everyone else is just following through.
Yeah, Detective in an alternate universe took down Innocent in that way because Innocent was brought down to like 15% health, even as low as to just 5%. But then there was a Spear of Misery for Innocent to knock back Detective, hence why Detective couldn't finish her job and Innocent got his Maniac. The biggest problem for CFU at that moment was after they took down Humes, they took down Cram, OP were low, Wadu were low, Sing was relatively healthy. I don't get why, if they wanted to end it here, why are they all sticking together, man? The one crystal from the Eve brought them so low.
There's a wave in ball.
Yeah, there's a wave in bot, you have your wave in mid, you could have played it slow, and that's why I want to point that out. Like, that is something that distinguishes teams like SRG from teams like CFU. Because SRG, even Coach Arcadia said, no, the mental of my players is something else. And shit like that, I can see that from the SRG side of, yeah, that shows that whole mental. While for CFU, at just that very moment, it slipped. Because everything else they did that, the sudden spike of Sing, because he just went Farmville on there, everyone's ass. Suddenly, like, how the fuck do you have your 3 core items when you're losing a good amount of the map and it's actually SRG taking control of it? And then playing around the power spike of the 1-1. But then that one moment where it looked like they couldn't agree how they wanted to try and end it. To the point where it was just a crystal from Stormy and then a few hits from Innocent to bring them low. Sing even popped his Winded Nature because he was panicking at that point.
You know, the final play of those 3 series like that, it makes me think of, because even that, like being willing to risk it, you know, because like I said, I'm not on boat completely that it's like pure big brain, but I think the risk was worth it, right? And there's like a quote of a F1 racer, right, where it's like they're asking him like, how'd you know the other guy wasn't going to hit his brakes when you passed him on that turn? And he's like, because he's got a wife and kid at home. It's like, I don't, you know, like sometimes like there's players that are willing to risk it.
That's a heart player.
A hard player.
Yes.
You know? Players that are willing to like, I'm going for it.
Yeah, so
I'm going to put it all on the line.
Yes.
Let's flip the coin.
Yeah.
I feel confident.
that was the heart play.
And it was a
Yeah, Innocent had an amazing heart play.
And that in itself also does make a great player, you know? So like whether it was big brain or whatever, it ended up being either way, it paid off. And Heron's all of our respect for that. If it went bad though, we'd all be, you know, it's like when Basic tries to do a backdoor and whiffs, you know, but when Benny Cutie goes to the back door and pulls it off, you know, it's a, you know, there's
been a different perspective. Shout out to Fernando Alonso. He was the one who said that when he was on a race against Michael Schumacher. Yeah. I had to search it up real quick. All right. I think we've talked about everyone else. Is it time?
No, it's not.
It's not yet.
You're forgetting one.
What?
You forget to acknowledge your brothers from the Sands.
Oh, right. Twisted Minds. Their losses honestly bummed me out. Because they were similar to BTK. 1 game away against RK Hoshi, but then they got solved in the next 2. 1 game away against NIP Flash, then they got reversed again. It hurt. It hurt for them because like clearly, unanimously, the entire community are 100% in agreement. They stepped the fuck up this M6.
I think they're in the opposite boat as these other teams that have bad circumstances. I think they've had the perfect ramp up to M6 compared to all these other developing or rising regions, right? Legit, the last major international event was in Riyadh. An upsurge of imports, coaches, players, talents, like they've assimilated all of these into their league. And then, you know, it came down to that backslide.
Yeah. You really think they fell short though?
Yes.
I didn't think they would make it. I didn't think they'd do as well as they did.
I think they could have made it through.
After seeing them perform well, yes.
Yes.
But before
hindsight.
M6 started, I was like, Mena wasn't even on my radar.
Oh, I think, I said they were dark horses,
Okay.
but I didn't put them in my top 8. So you see, I'm still kind of split.
Yeah,
I'm still of two hearts. I do believe they're dark horses. I know that they got something cooking, but I didn't put my money where my mouth was, and I did not put them in my top 8. But yeah, no, in reality, in watching their games, they did perform better than even, most expected. Their team fighting looked good.
Yeah, no, they played well, and they had they had an identity that maybe they didn't have before they got here. I don't know, but trying to get to a late game, looking for that rubber band moment,
Yeah.
and it worked for them through a lot.
They were
and
sound.
yeah,
They were sound. I liked watching Mena games better than Latam games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melita.
Sorry, Latam. I mean, you guys had a tough M6.
I think I will put like quality of games, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Mena games are the same. I'll say it now. Cambodia.
I can see that, yeah.
Like one is more action packed, one is more again 50-50 like Cambodia, and then the other is more like, all right, control, macro, late game. You know what I mean?
What I like about this is Hoda is the shit, bro.
Hold up.
Jai, bro.
The Medjai, the Hidden Pharaoh, whatever the
Oh,
fuck
the
you wanna
Medjai.
call him, Hoda is insane, man. He is a revelation, and Sano too, like
Saudi gold.
Saudi Gold, yeah, the Medjai and Saudi Gold, bro.
It almost, even though we loved this Swiss format, it almost kind of hurt because if it was groups, few teams might have played out. If it was just best of one groups, things might have changed a bit.
And we would have had more screen time with these stars.
Yeah,
Like at least
the Mines might have got out. BTK, like because a lot of these teams are teams that won their best of ones and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that. Like if it was like M5 best of one format, it might have been a lot different.
Yeah. Twisted Minds, I feel like, are the team that best prepared for Swiss. Because all of their victories in the BO3s were in game 1. They know how to go out with their
Similar to
best foot
BTK.
forward. Yeah, similar to BTK. They know how to go out with their best. No, I know, BTK.
The only game one that they lost was FNOP. Other than that, they beat Falcon game one and Vamos, but by then we don't talk about it.
Yeah. No, but in terms of their victory,
That wasn't BTK.
that was something else. I think, yeah, that's how I'd want to paint Twisted Minds. They were the team best prepared for Swiss because of just how well they brought their best foot forward. Vamos eventually make it to the knockouts, beat them. Falcon eventually made it to the knockouts, beat them. RRQ in game 1, NIP Flash in game 1. You cannot say that they weren't legit contenders.
that's a respectable body count. Like looking at who they faced and the quality and caliber of MLBB that they put on the stage, the Prince would be proud.
Yeah.
And they did it till the very end. They looked good until the very end.
He never
Unlike BTK, they look good until their last match.
Even though they got swept by Liquid, there were times in that Liquid match where we're like, oh, yo, is Mena doing it? Is Mena actually going for it right now? Yeah.
They got a few kills, like they were.
Yeah. They were winning objectives. They were just losing the map a little bit. But
Traps
still,
were never like bad. They were never like first pick Angela bad or Angela Claude second phase bad.
Yeah.
Or Houston Shin first phase bad. You know.
Yeah, those.
I hope Twisted Minds, man, keep it coming.
Hey, man.
I'm excited to see them again for the next international.
Big chance MSC might be back in, who knows?
Yeah.
AWC. Maybe they'll have some home turf advantage. What was it? When was it? Not last MSC, but the one before was at 2023.
Cambodia.
Cambodia, when that was like our first time really seeing. It was Burn X Flash. Was it? Were they still NIP or were they Burn X Flash then?
That was Burn X Flash.
Yeah, Burn X Flash.
Cambodia's?
Yeah, right? They were Chima, right? Well, that was when Chima. They did pretty good that round on home's turf. That was like the first time I was like, oh, look at these guys. Cambodia's finally starting to show up. That was like, I feel like the start of their,
They're right.
okay, we're a top 8 team again, boys.
Yeah, they took Echo to the limit. Yeah. It took Echo 5 games to solve Burn X Flash.
Hell yeah. Look at these little wasabi packs.
Those are cute. You know what? That's gonna be your preview photo for the post. You eating sushi and then showing off the wasabi pack. Yeah, so people understand. And now I really didn't miss anyone, right?
Let's talk about now. Let's talk about the now.
We just talk about now. Kind of want to do a different take for the predictions.
Don't tell me who you think will win. Tell me who you think will lose.
No, I think I'd want to hear like who do you think would be the MVP of the series? If there was gonna be a series MVP for you. Yeah, like
I'm
that.
picking my brain. I don't.
A little bit too deep.
Yeah, you're not picking. Of course. I don't think I can name every player off the top of my head. Right.
All right. Let's start with. We'll go from bottom, quote unquote, bottom to up. Team Spirit, Team Liquid ID.
Team Spirit, Team Liquid ID, TLID. Aaron Shiki will probably end up being MVP, but Hiko might not let him be MVP. Honestly, that's going to be such a great game because we'll really get to see Hiko get put to the test.
Yeah.
But yeah, TLID. Yeah.
Shiki feels better in lane, but he goes better in the fights. Like
Yeah.
he goes better on the 50-50s. Yeah, but who do you think was going to win?
TLID.
Score?
2-0. 2-1. I gave 2-0 to another podcast. I'll give 2-1.
No, I'm the same. We did one earlier.
We did 2-0. Now I'm worried. Now I'm questioning myself.
I did one earlier.
Digesting for
I posted one on the talks right now, and then whatever. RQ versus Vamos.
RQ versus Vamos. RQ. 2-1.
Ooh. Okay.
I think Vamos has really. I think both those games are kind of. I think a lot of people are probably a lot of the casters are probably more on board of like, nah, Vamos just isn't there. But Vamos just keeps surprising me. I feel like they're getting more and more grounded as this goes on, and by knockout, they might be even more grounded.
And that groundedness makes their special weapons more deadly. The Moonlit Waltz.
Similar to like NIP. Yeah, well, that Moonlit Waltz was.
What the fuck is a Moonlit Waltz?
What the hell's a Moonlit Waltz? That's the name of the episode right there.
What the fuck is a Moonlit Wolf? So Zorn did everyone dirty with that, right?
Yeah.
Every time Shark tried to go in, zoop, sucked him up.
Yeah, it's messed there.
That's Warlord. Warlord sucked them up.
Yo, pa. All right. Falcon Esports versus NIP Flash. This I can't read. I have a hard time reading this.
This one feels like a coin flip.
Yeah.
Let's go anyway.
You remember what we said earlier?
Falcon.
Yeah.
We both said Falcon earlier.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean you guys got interviewed too?
2-1.
Yeah, I think out of all of these, this game will be.
Yeah, 2. Next 2.
I'm
If any
so
piece
sure.
is right, I just say that's bad. It was the last one I just
Is it
said.
Hassan? Bad in what sense?
Just
The river be the judge.
I'm good. I'm full. Next question. All right. You're in a room, far from home, away from your family, far from Naisu, with 2 Filipinos. Fnatic, Onyx, PH, SRG.
Fnatic on it.
Score.
2-1.
Oh, I gave it. What did I say earlier? Did I say well? Same with you, yeah. On my new prediction, my TikTok predictions, I said sweep.
Sweet. Well, that's for the people. And Taylor, you got to keep it clean on there. You got to keep it very Filipino.
That's for the people.
No, I think it's definitely possible to be a sweep, but I don't know. SRG too. They're always full of surprises.
Yeah. Like, knowing like the shit we've gone through for this race, I would not even be. I know I would be surprised, but I don't think I'd be like mulling over about it because M6 has just been that wild that if ever SRG start off the gate suddenly shocking FNOP, shocking their system, sweeping them, and both games are pretty SRG sided, I'd be like, yep, this is fucking M6. This is fucking M6.
Well, SRG, Falcon, and SRG, Vamos, and NIP Flash, in my eyes right now, you know how we were, like, when Aurora came into this, I think after the first loss, it was like, they need some time to adapt.
Yeah.
Because that's like what they did in MPLPH last season. They were a team that just got better and better throughout the season and
as it went
just
on.
got stronger and stronger. And they did not in M6, it feels like. But SRG, Vamos, and NIP, it feels like that's what's happening to them right now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every day we're seeing a new version of the team. Like, and we're seeing a better version of the team, a better version of the team, a better version of the team. So it's hard for me to just completely count SRG out in that match because they could definitely come in day one and be a whole better, even new version than what we saw in Swiss.
Which I'm blind to because I bleed orange and yellow.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I'm afraid of when it comes to the green and orange. NIP Flash, I think I owe them a lot of money if predictions cost anything. Oh my God, every single time. And for some reason, they always seem to be on when I'm on. So I'm like 0-2 or 0-3 when it comes to NIP Flash and Leo predictions. So when we said 2-1 Falcons, I'm like, did I not learn? Am I stupid?
Yeah, that's in my mind too. I'm like, I almost want to change for real.
Do you though?
I was like, maybe NIP, because now they're in this place where they're so comfortable in the meta. Where they're good now. They could still pull now. They can pull out the cheese pick to surprise because they jumped right into it when we came in. Not the right idea. But now they're in bracket. Now game 3, they could pull out the crazy mid lane pick, right, and catch Falcon off guard. Especially because we'll see.
The only NRB Flash prediction I got wrong was CFU. But then I remember I was the only one who on the table who predicted for NIP Flash against Aurora, as much as that pained me. And the Twisted Minds also.
You know you were trying to curse them.
No, dude, no.
You predicted them against Aurora.
After game number 1, that of Aurora, I was already going like, something doesn't feel right now. And the first game that NIP Flash against CFU was just close. It was close. It was just literally one play to turn it all around. It was Sing versus Vanix, pretty much. The Granger and I can't remember if it was a 1-1 or a Bruno, but yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. I have one last special request for Trex.
What's that? You want
Trex?
No.
No. Trex, your father. So I want you.
My father?
No, you're a father.
You are a father.
Graham. No.
Dick. Oh no, your seniors chilling.
Sorry, Mr. Trex's dad, but all right. Trex is a dad, so I want you to close out this episode as if you were. Mobile? No,
I
here.
think we snowball this line.
Yeah.
So
No. You are Let's say you are Moba Zane's dad, and you are gonna give him a speech, a dad speech, after what happened to him in M6. What would you say?
Get it together, kid. You have failed our family.
what the hell? So pretty Asian, dude. I knew you were an honorary Filipino, man, but damn, what the hell?
No, I don't know. My kids would never fess up like.
So you listen.
So you listen up, Movas.
What the fuck, dude?
Go learn some new heroes. Get it together, bro. We do still love you. With everything I say, and we always joke and everything, but with everything I say, I think Mobazane does have that dog in him. I still am a strong believer of that.
Can't take that away.
Can never take that away. His achievements have been great. Whatever his choice ends up being after this is huge. Is okay. And they will always support him, as we support all of our players. The same way I support the second place team or the third place team, I'll support the first place team. There's definitely some. There needs to be some self-inspection here. Because something's up.
Tell him you love him.
I love you.
All right. That's it. Epical Glory. Breaking down the Swiss. Recap on some of the emerging regions. Some teams that drop out. Once again, thank you to Trex, Herbert Wagner. Where can people find you on social media, bro?
You can find me on any social media. It's all the same exact name, Trex Cass. I was inducted into the Cass Hall with Leo and the rest of them. Appreciate that. Not a cutie gang, not a teaser gang. That's Trex Cass.
Not a gaming
Nope, no gaming, no esports, none of that. Just Trex, CASTS, no space needed. That's the same thing on Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, YouTube, Facebook,
TikTok.
Pornhub.
Good to tell you. One final surprise before the episode ends. We're out of here.
Plug it in my OF. No.
We're out of here.
We'll see you in the knockouts. Epical Glory. Follow us. Leo and Redmar. Peace.